You've drawn the cat, you've colored the cat. Now it's time to hit play and watch your cat finally come alive. Let's animate! Welcome back to our Blender 2D animation series for beginners. Today, we're diving into animation basics. We'll cover the UI panels you need, the timeline, creating and editing keyframes, the grease pencil tools for animation, and much more. We'll take the cat we polished in the previous videos and animate its tail using keyframes, interpolation, and onion skinning. Grab your drawing tablet if you're following along, and let's get animating. The timeline is your best friend for animation. It's at the bottom of the screen by default. If you don't see it, add a horizontal split and pick timeline for this UI area. This is where you scrub through frames, set start and end points for your animation, and control playback. The playhead, that vertical line, shows your current frame. Click and drag it to jump around, or use the arrow keys for precise control. To navigate the timeline, you can use the same shortcuts you're using in the viewport, or use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. To scroll left or right, hold Ctrl and use the mouse wheel, or hold Shift for vertical scrolling instead. Pro tip: hit spacebar to play or pause. Easy peasy. First things first, let's make sure we set up for 2D animation. Set your frame rate in the output properties. 24 FPS is standard for animation, but feel free to tweak it if you feel rebellious. You need to switch your timeline to grease pencil mode. To do that, click here and change timeline to dope sheet. Then in the dropdown pick grease pencil. Now all your keyframes will be shown here. I prefer keeping the timeline for playback control alongside the dope sheet, just like this. If you want to follow along this lesson, don't forget to get the source files for free. Link is in the description below. And what's animation without keyframes? It's just a still image. Boring! Keyframes capture the state of your object at a specific frame, like a snapshot. In Grease Pencil, keyframes are per layer, so that organization from previous videos pays off big time. There are multiple ways to add a keyframe. Select the layer you want to key, open the key menu and click Insert Keyframe, or just hit I. If you want to add keyframes to every layer, pick all channels, while only selected will add keys to selected layers. To select a layer, click here, or hold Shift to select multiple animation channels. By default, Insert Keyframe creates an empty keyframe. If you need to make a copy of existing keyframe, you can duplicate it. Select a key you want to copy, open the key menu and press Duplicate, or just hit Shift-D. Move the mouse left or right to position it on the timeline and click when you're done. To move selected keyframes, press G and simply slide left or right. Notice that if you place a keyframe over another one, it will automatically replace it. Sneaky, but useful. Enable auto keyframing, that record button in the timeline. When it's on, Blender automatically inserts keyframes whenever you make changes. Basically cheat mode for rough animation. Blender does the paperwork while you create. Did you know that this video is sponsored by you? If you want to help the channel, consider becoming a member or joining my Patreon, or simply share it with your friends. Your support is much appreciated. Now let's talk about basic animation principles and the process. Traditional animators often animate on 2s or 3s, meaning each drawing is held for 2 or 3 frames instead of new one every frame. This saves effort, suits limited animation styles and works at 24 FPS. Animating on 2s equals 12 unique drawings per second, on 3s just 8. Less work, more fun. Who doesn't love that? I'll animate on 2s, so I'll keep that in mind when placing my keyframes. The cat's tail follows the wave principle. Mark the base of the tail and draw the first key pose with a simple line. Key poses are the extreme or defining drawings that outline the action start, end and major beats. For the tail swinging, we base our key poses on S and C shapes. Pay attention to how the S shape transitions to the mirrored C shape, then mirrored S and to the C, before looping back to S again. Place these key poses on the timeline to nail the rhythm and speed. The tail is absolutely vibing right now. When key poses are done, add the breakdown keys, midway poses between keys to guide the arc and timing. You can use onion skinning for this. To enable it, turn on viewport overlays, then press grease pencil options and check the onion skin checkbox. To set up how many frames are shown, go to the grease pencil data tab, find the onion skinning section and tweak before and after keyframes, as well as their colors if needed. Or you can do it traditional way, by simply flipping between frames. To do that, use the left and right arrow keys to move one frame forward or backward, or use the up and down arrows to jump between keyframes of the currently selected animation layer. Old school, but it works like a charm. There is a way to make our life easier in digital animation. To save some time, you can use Interpolation, and Blender will create keyframes for you. All you have to do is create two keyframes. Select them in the timeline, place the playhead in between, switch to Draw mode, and in the Draw menu pick Interpolate sequence. Boom! Magic! This will only work if the amount of strokes is the same, as well as their internal IDs. I know, complicated. Basically, this technique works best when you use the same drawing and modify it with Edit mode or Sculpt mode. Mess it up and boom! Your elegant cat tail turns into drunk spaghetti. Watch this. I'll draw a line and bend it using Sculpt mode. Then interpolate and voila! Pretty quickly I have a smooth tail motion. Here is the cheat. Let's make the line thicker. Now we even have a reference for the thickness of the tail. How cool is that? Use this as a guide for your final tail animation and you're golden. Flip back and forth to reveal and fix any inconsistencies and use onion skinning to draw in between frames, literally somewhere in the middle between those breakdown keys. And there you go, you're done with the rough pass. Tail animated, confidence level God tier, you're absolute beast. For line art cleanup, check my other video covering brush settings and stabilization. If you want to learn more advanced animation techniques, watch the next lesson. I'll talk about timing, spacing and arcs while animating a head turn. Let me know if this series is helpful, or if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you enjoy my videos, support me on Patreon, Gumroad or become a member. But also smash that like button, that helps a lot. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe.